Hi, this is Mark Henry, author of Dancing with Energy, Healing Magic and Mysticism. Today I want to talk about a slightly different topic, and that is the area of protection magic. And protection magic is essentially how to protect yourself from harm, whether it be from another person or from an entity. And I kind of want to discuss the myths about it. One of the first myths is you can't make your life perfect with protection magic. For example, well, let me digress just for a second, and I will talk about the two ways of approaching magic. One is what we call reactive. Now, reactive magic is when something happens that you don't like. You run up into needing a whole bunch of money real quick, and you decide to do some magic to earn some more money or to have it given to you, or whatever the case may be. You're just trying to draw more money to you quickly. Now that's reactive. You are responding or reacting to something adverse. Now the second form is what's called proactive magic, which means that I'm going to do magic on a regular basis to make my life smoother, whether that be to attract a little more money, to try to enhance relationships, to do whatever it is the goal that you're trying to accomplish in your life. So you're trying to put forth a little bit of energy and magical work to kind of make that happen. Kind of want to put that out there real quick. The second thing I want to talk about, as far as that particular idea of can't make your life perfect, is if things go wrong in your life, it is not necessarily because someone put something on you. Some of it is your own doing, it is your own choices, it is the own life decisions that you made. It's not necessarily due to the ill intentions of others. And I think it's very easy, actually we call that in psychology, we call that psychological projection, when we attribute some of our own inner stuff onto someone else. And it's very easy in the area of life and magic to kind of blame it on someone else. So you have to kind of be aware of, okay, is this really this person doing this, or is it just a product of something that I've created, maybe even from the past? So that being the case, remember that you can't protect yourself from your already made decisions. So if you did something like you had money in your account and you went and spent it gambling, then that is your fault. And it isn't because usually that someone put a spell on you and you had the urge to go and spend the money at the casino, and the person made the roulette wheel or the blackjack table create a loss in your life. I know this sounds like common sense, but some people actually believe these things. Also, if you are the type of person that believes that you are under a psychic attack from people in your environment and it's on a consistent and regular basis, reevaluate the people that you hang out with. Look closely at your friends, look at your family, and decide whether, it could be that these people genuinely have ill intentions towards you. It may not be a very concentrated magical attack, but other people's thoughts and feelings do affect us on a minor level. Being around people, you can actually feel it emotionally, and you can feel it in your energy field. So I'm not saying that that doesn't happen, but if you find that it's happening consistently, you really look at your friends and possibly your family. Where are you living? Try to see whether you can do something to draw yourself out of those situations, because it's just going to drain your energy being around those people anyway. The second thing that I want to say is that, and this is on this kind of the topic of a very concentrated magical attack, which I'm going to term as a curse. Okay, now some people believe that they are the subject of curses. Now you have to think about what exactly that means. Okay, so what these people are actually saying is that there's somebody who's actually putting very focused negative energy in their direction. It's actually causing them bad luck and creating havoc in their life. Okay, so let's break that down. For one, you have to understand that the people that can actually do that are people who are very experienced occultists, people who have been studying magic for a while who can pull that off. That is very rare, that you're going to come across somebody that dislikes you and is willing to spend the time and effort to design something specifically to you to wreck your life. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's unlikely. Now, if you're wanting to know, what puts you at that level, what is the risk factors, well, one is that if you are a practicing magician, that ups your chances just a little bit. Some people might want to do some type of magical battle with you, kind of see who's most well endowed magically. But like I said, that's few and far between. Next thing, and this is about the cursing. Also consider the fact that you're probably not important enough for these people to kind of go after you magically. Because again, it takes time, effort, it takes a lot of you really making people angry and having that desire to really hurt you. And that just, I don't know, just doesn't really happen. It doesn't really happen a lot. So, I guess, how do you fix these things? So if you really believe that someone is hurting you magically, how do you fix it? Well, one is you have to take really good care of yourself. Well, excuse me, let me just back up on one particular point, because I think I skipped one. And that is that, as far as a myth, just because you don't believe in curses, does that mean that curses aren't real or that it can't happen to you? Now, I'm not going against what I said earlier. I do feel like it's unlikely, but I do think that curses are something that is possible magically. And if you do not believe it, it actually makes you more vulnerable and susceptible to it. Just because you don't believe in the law of gravity doesn't mean that it would be wise to try to jump off a bridge or a building. There are metaphysical laws in place that allow cursings to happen. And just because you don't believe it doesn't mean that it isn't true. Now, I want to provide a caveat to that, and that is, if you believe that you are cursed and you inflate that, if you freak out about it, if you are in fact cursed, you will actually make it worse. But that is slightly different than what I was just talking about. You can make it worse. So anyway, how do you fix it? Well, one is that you practice really good self-care. So if you feel like that, something doesn't feel right, something doesn't, I just feel off. Well, one is that you need really good discernment. They talk about spiritual discernment in the Bible, and you need spiritual discernment in other traditions too. So if you feel that way, you feel like you might be cursed, then you need to really tune into yourself, your energy, your life, your inner life, and try to tease out, is this me? Is this me feeling guilt or an emotion or something, or is this an honest to God magical attack? And I would venture to say that most of the time you're going to find, the vast majority of the time, that it is you. Now let's say that you have good discernment and you want to do something about it. Well, this video isn't going to necessarily teach you how to do that, but it'll give you some things to think about. One is you really need to practice good self-care, and that means making sure you're eating, sleeping properly, you're surrounding yourself with social support, you are doing and acting as one who has a good life. You're working, you're doing what you need to do, you're trying to be positive. That will, in some ways, minimize the curse. It won't negate it, but if you were doing the opposite and you were feeling down and depressed and anxious and not eating properly and all these types of things, it would make the concentrated magical force do its job easier. So there's that. Second is that if you have the discernment, you decide that, hey, I really am being cursed, then you need to do something about it. You can learn about protection magic. There's a lot of information out there, or you can actually hire somebody if you don't feel competent, or you don't have time, or you don't have the even desire to go ahead and do that. And once, if it is a genuine curse, then it can be remedied. It can be taken off. So that is not necessarily a problem. It can be dealt with. So in any case, thank you for listening to my video, and I hope that it was something that you interesting and that you can kind of learn from. So I will see you later.